I feel like I see you more right now than I saw you last week or 2 weeks ago.
I know. That's true. It's true. Well, before we chat, you have been,
Yeah.
you're here because we've started streaming Christmas on the Rocks, year 8, and it's streaming, and, Friday's our member watch party. But this is your third year with the show, right?
Yes.
Your third year, believe it or not. You started in 2018. And this year, on the stream, we'll see you as Ralphie and Tiny Tim. We decided to do something fun and bring all the guys back. So one of your co-stars is coming on soon. You also bravely stepped into episode 12 of Get Sauce, where we were just really beginning to figure out this streaming content.
Yes, and we were in like the first horrible stages of COVID, I remember.
Yeah, we were. So I'm really happy you're back, and I'm really happy I got to see you. And of course, you are still very recognized for your role as Queer as Folk. So welcome.
Today is apparently the 20th anniversary of the premiere of the first episode of Queer as Folk.
Of Queer as Folk?
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, I didn't even know until I turned onto Instagram to talk to you, and I noticed in someone else's feed.
Wow. Yeah. Well, when we were filming recently, I was commenting on how you are forever youthful, and we love you for that. And I think that, I think that those qualities mixed with some of the characters' strangeness is really, really pays off for you. So, we're in unprecedented times and in the midst of a holiday season. Just in a personal note, how did you start off the holidays? Did you do anything for Thanksgiving? Are you doing anything for the holidays? Are you decorating?
I had a very small Thanksgiving with 4 other people who are sort of in my pod upstate. And Christmas is up in the air. I mean, it looks so bad right now. I might. It seems like the people that I was going to visit, I was going to drive and visit some people. We're playing it by ear. We may cancel the whole thing just because some family members have gotten sick recently, and it just seems like we can't.
Well, one of our board members is, big in the hospitals here in Connecticut, and, we get a lot of inside scoop. But he's also one of my good friends, and he's like, when you think about it, we're almost to we're like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
We're so close. We don't want to screw it up now.
One holiday season to keep more lives saved is not a too big of a price to pay. So I'm going to lay low too.
That's how I feel. But I'm still decorating. I'm getting a Christmas tree this week, which to some people is late and to some people is early. To me, it seems very fun.
It's really
we had our
good.
first sticking snow here yesterday, but it wasn't quite enough to sled. But it'll be my first Christmas tree in my house upstate, so I'm excited to have it.
Make sure you send a picture, and if you'll let us, we'll
course.
share it.
All right.
You know what I was thinking, though? I usually travel a lot, and I was like... I decorate
I'm in Hartford.
What'd you say?
Usually I'm in Hartford, so I'm,
That's true. And so, I thought I'm going to decorate because I'll really enjoy it. Ironically... Usually you decorate and then you're leaving every day. Wow. A lot of people, you bring in, you have friends around the world, Randy. It's amazing. So, wait a minute. Before I ask
hello to everyone.
We might as well say if they want to see your amazing performance, go to cwhartford.org and buy a stream to Christmas on the Rocks. And you get to see, well, I'll let you see, because we made the decision to make a real specific point of view in the filming. Do you want to share it? So I don't have to be all the talk.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for the vast majority of the scenes, there are just 2 characters. There's the bartender who's there throughout the show, and then the various characters that come on. But there's usually only 2 characters at a time. So we decided to shoot from the bartender's point of view. So all the sort of famous Christmas characters that you recognize from their childhood in their adulthood are speaking directly to the camera. And Ted Lang, wonderfully, is returning to voice the role that he played on stage so well last year.
Yeah, Ted safely filmed his the voice of the bartender from LA. Mm-hmm. You all went through testing, and we brought you in all separately. And you had a relationship really with Dan, the cameraman.
Dan, the
from
cameraman.
The Productions. He was amazing.
Who was amazing. Shout out to him because he did such a fantastic job.
Shout out to Dan. And it really, I don't know if you watched it.
It was like old times playing to a dot on the camera and not a human being.
What?
I've watched the first scene. I haven't watched Tiny Tim yet, but I watched Ralphie the other day, and I was very happy.
Oh, good. Yeah, that was the last take we did too. The one that you really I think you really felt you wanted us to use. And I think it's really, it turned out to be this thing by filming in that perspective. The audience, because I thought, well, what is going to make people who've seen it for 7 years want to see it again? And the opportunity is that they get to experience the show from the bartender's point of view. And Ted was so much fun. We did the voiceover, and he played with you from the recordings we did in the theater. And and you all have to deal with me reading his lines.
You did a good job. We're used to you doing the other lines.
Was there anything though that happened that reminded you of the way we were? Did it feel like? It was weird, right? You were in and out for two half days, really.
Yeah, two days. I mean, just being there was such a gift. I mean, being on the set again, hearing, and during the normal run, I get sick to hell of those Christmas songs. But just having 2 days and hearing the intro music and everything, it was really heartwarming, especially when I watched it again. And honestly, I mean, during COVID, it's been such a difficult time for people who make their living in live theater, and to be able to just return to our medium that we love and to be with the people we love, even though they're out in the dark audience and we all have masks on when we're all 6 feet apart and getting tested every minute and in, different pods, it felt like coming home.
Yeah. And, when that set goes out, my shout out to Michael Schweikart, who did the set design, fun fact for those of you who are watching, Michael is, we went to school together years and years ago. Dear friend, amazing set designer. He designed that set remotely, ironically. He has never seen that set live.
It's such a good set.
Person. And it's 8 years. And it's this old friend. The staff always talks about it. In fact, on Instagram, on our page, you can see the kind of fast forward footage of the set going up.
Right.
And it's like an old friend, and every year, because it's a beat up, kind of dingy, well-loved place, it just gets better and better with age. What did it feel like kind of coming into your clothes and stepping into the set?
I mean, playing those characters and being in that dressing room, which oddly I don't remember the first one. I remember the first year. Oh yeah, now I do. The first year we didn't have those new dressing rooms. But I mean, doing Christmas on the Rocks has become kind of my Christmas tradition. So it brings me right back into the holiday spirit to put on those wigs, to smell the spirit gum in my sideburns.
Yeah, and another fun note from people, Matt, who's coming on later, had done it the 3 years before you, and then he had a conflict. He was coming to do year 4, and he got, I think he got the RuPaul show or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he felt so bad, but it was pretty tight to when we were about to start rehearsals. Mm-hmm. And we called you, and you so bravely stepped in. So your first year was shot out of a cannon, learning the lines.
I had a week, but I definitely seen it once before, because obviously I'm friends with Jen and Matt and Harry. So I had seen it. I'd definitely seen Harry and Jen do it, and I think I'd gone up and seen Matt and Jen do it too. So I think I'd already seen it twice, so I was familiar with it. But yeah, it was a quick study.
It was, and you were great. And then last year was a little more fun for you, although even still, you never had that same thing for 2 years, because last year was Ted's first year. Mm-hmm. And Ted, there's the anxiety. The bartender's in every scene. So you had to kind of, you were secure, Jen was secure, and now we had another new person, which always makes it fun, probably from outside, but inside I know it's nice. But you were able to kind of come with it, with that knowledge, and so it was easier for you. And here we are. You got to film to stream it, And I love it. I'm glad you had a good response to what you saw.
Yeah, I think people are gonna love it. It's wonderful.
Tell people who are listening, because your relation. You said we're all friends. You, of course, all of you are friends, but in particular, you, Matt, and Jen. I think. Oh, New York is Dead. Is that what you have like this long time friendship? But what is some of the things you've worked on together besides Christmas on the Rocks?
I mean, we first met at the Berkshire Theater Festival in I don't know, 12 or 15 years ago. I met Jen when she was doing Heidi Chronicles with my friend Scott Lowell. And then I met Matt and Jen that next year when they were doing a show that Matt wrote. And we all started hanging out. And then we ended up forming a company together called Quan Company. And we did a bunch of shows in New York and actually in the Berkshires again and at Bard College together. We did for years, I guess over the course of about 5 years. And then, Jen was starring in Silence off Broadway with actually Harry. And I replaced Harry briefly when he went on vacation for a summer. I think that's where I met Harry. I mean, the theater world is a very, very small world. Yeah.
The theater is a really small world. And I got to begin to your co-star is waiting in the wings. But I just want to say that in this time, this kind of reset that we're having in the world, and in our country and in our business, I just count you among the many gifts I've had. I feel like we've moved to colleagues, to friends, and I value you in my life so much. And not to get too emotional, but it's like a real time to kind of take a look at that. And I just want to say how much I love you and I love working with you.
Thank you, Rob. I feel the same way. And you and TheaterWorks are a real gift to artists. And we're all grateful. Everybody who's come to work there has been anxious to come back and knows how lucky they are.
We're lucky to have you, and I hope you'll be back many times. And maybe we'll see you on Friday if you decide. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Join the member watch party. People would love to see you.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to stop by for a few minutes.
Great. All right. I'll talk to you soon. I'm going on to Jen Harris is coming on, and
Such a
you
bore.
are. Thank you.